Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Bree and today we're doing another speed build in The Sims. I decided that I wanted to make quite a large home for this one. I usually make quite small houses, or in the grand scheme of things, I guess I don't make a one-level large home, and so I wanted to go a little bit out of my comfort zone and create something that was more large and in charge, as we like to say. So I got the overall shape design just off of the internet. I sort of found a home website and got some floor plans from them. So the actual floor plan itself is relatively similar. I sort of changed a bit around, obviously, because The Sims obviously has its limitations when it comes to floor plans, so I just decided to change it up a little bit, but the overall outside of the house looks pretty much the same as what I looked at online. I don't really know how to describe the style of home. I guess I would say like modern Hampton, maybe? It's very like modern suburban kind of home, and I used this new sort of technique to landscape, which you're seeing now, using a combination of dirt, the gravel, and then also just a solid concrete slab type ground to create this really cool shape. And I usually don't map out where my landscaping is going to be. I actually put the plants in first and then I put the ground in, but I thought this would be a good way to sort of, again, expand my horizons a bit when it comes to building. So I started with the outside, obviously, as I always do. I find this to be better for myself. I kind of get the situation started by doing all of the outside first, and then I move inside. Find it easy to do it that way, and also get a little bit of inspiration on what I want this house to look like and how I want it to be presented, both on the outside and also the inside. The windows I chose are from the Cats and Dogs pack, which I don't use a lot of, but I actually really love these windows. I love that pack. I love all of the items that it came with, specifically the build by items, so all of the doors, windows, any of the siding panels of the house and flooring, things like that. I love that style that they chose for this pack. Some of the items themselves are not my favorite sort of style, but I definitely love the windows. I love how big they are, and I love just like a natural light within the space. So we're going to move outside now and obviously just do all of the landscaping. As I said before, I don't normally map it out like this, but the actual house itself that I was getting inspiration from had really specific garden beds and really specific ways to create spaces within the outside areas, so I wanted to kind of replicate that a little bit with this build. I also wanted to add in a pool because I thought it's a family home, they're most likely going to have a pool, and then that sort of also creates another space for the outside. I usually don't use a lot of rocks to shape the edges of garden beds in The Sims. I don't know why I never do this. I think I just love the more like natural sort of look of garden beds, having it be like it might have been there before and then they've kind of just worked their way around it. But I did it for this build and I actually really like it. I think it suits the style. The original post had these sort of garden beds with rocks around the edges, so I thought it's one, good because I'm keeping the inspiration of the home pretty much the same, but then also adding something that I don't usually do within my builds. Now again, a lot of my builds are sort of built around inspiration and then I sort of go from there. I feel like a lot of people do that. They find inspiration from either online or in person, and then they take those ideas and sort of create their own. So the original, I guess, idea or inspiration had really minimal sort of garden beds. They had this really large one on the outside, but then they had a lot of really sparse plants where I feel like I kind of like more tight-knit sort of planter areas. And so that's what I wanted to do with these out the front, create lots of greenery, lots of green spaces, but also almost pathing the way of where you have to go to get inside the house, which I also really, really like to do in a lot of my builds. I don't usually like to put garages in or carports in because obviously we don't have cars or working cars in The Sims, but I thought that it would be kind of nice to obviously do this within this build because the original idea did have it. So I just added that really big block of concrete just to add the illusion, but it's obviously not going anywhere. It's just a big spot. I guess you could put like a fire pit out there or create some sort of outdoor space if you really wanted to. But I thought it kind of looks like it's meant to be there. Like it's almost like it is just meant to be part of the design of the pathways. So I'm not super mad that I kept it because I think it really does fit the whole vibe of the place. So now we are heading into the interior. We're going to put all of the doors in place and just make sure that I'm happy with the floor plan. At this point, I think I was pretty happy with where everything was sitting, and making sure that everything obviously had a spot and that we had enough bedrooms, bathrooms, all of that. I ended up also putting in a laundry as well, which I don't usually put laundries in, but since playing a legacy challenge over on my Twitch, which the link is in the bio by the way, and also in the description below, I have been putting a lot of more gameplay style objects and rooms into my build. So putting some sort of space to put, you know, a woodworking table or making like a shed or a greenhouse, and then also on the inside making like more of an activity room or a second lounge room that is like more for the kids or things like that. Just gameplay items or gameplay spaces that might not always be in normal Sims games, but for a legacy challenge I want to try and obviously make it really realistic. So that's kind of the point of a legacy, is to try and, you know, live 10 generations. So that's where I sort of got the inspiration for a lot of these rooms. I was thinking, okay, this could be like someone's legacy home. It's got 4, technically speaking, it could probably be almost 5 bedrooms, because you could close off the second lounge room towards the other end of the house and make that a 5th bedroom. So it's got a lot of bedrooms, and it's 3 bathrooms, obviously 2 main bathrooms and then an ensuite. So you could realistically make this home a legacy home. The lot's big enough for it as well. It's a 40 by 30. So you've got a lot of potential to either renovate or play it as it is. You know what I mean? I feel like we're on the same page. So I wanted to make obviously open plan kitchen, dining, living space. It's quite closed off in the sense that it's not very open to the outside area, which is totally fine. I normally do a very open plan living, dining, and then also indoor outdoor spaces. But for this one, I was like, okay, I'm going to close it off just a little bit, because obviously the style of home is modern enough, but not modern to the point of taking in those elements of newer builds and creating that sense of indoor outdoor entertaining spaces. So we obviously do have an indoor entertaining space and then a separate outdoor entertaining space, but they're not seamlessly connected. There is obviously those French doors, but there's no opening and massive doors and windows looking out towards the outside of the home. So I kind of like it. I like building in this style. I don't do it a lot, but I do find it easy to work with, other than other sort of styles of homes that I haven't really worked with before. So I'm keeping the colors super neutral. Again, this is like where my comfort is, so I wanted to keep the colors super neutral. And I think also it just adds to that modern element of the home. A couple of darker woods here and there, but for the most part, very light woods, whites, blacks, a couple of black items as well. I wanted to like tie in like a darker sort of theme to a couple of the different spaces, but for the most part it is pretty much all the same as what I usually do. The bathrooms are also pretty much the same. This one's more black themed than like a light tone, and I kind of like it. I like it with the blue. It adds like a little bit of extra like spice, and then also obviously having that like coppery kind of brown colors coming through in a couple of the elements as well. I just really enjoy that. I find this sort of style is still super modern, but it's also kind of traditional as well. So that's what I wanted to do for the main bigger bathroom. This one's a 4x4 room, which was massive. So if it looks a little empty, it is, because I did a double shower and tub situation, but you could probably split the two and then make it a little bit more full. But I don't know, I think I rushed that bathroom a little bit, to be honest, because I got to the point where I was like, I need to get this build up and running. I spent so much time on the kitchen, lounge room, and that whole like side of the house that I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna be spending hours on this build when it's really not that hard. So I decided to, as you can see here, use some of the preset rooms but change it a little bit. So like change some of the colors. Well, I end up changing the colors actually. A little spoiler. this does not stay in the same color. It stays the same layout, but just I change it to more of like a yellow tone because I didn't really like the colors that it was giving me and the darker woods. So we changed this, but this is like in the original inspiration, it was meant to be a movie room or like a entertainment room, but I decided to make it an office and think of it like an open plan. Maybe they had to do like consultations or something of that sort, and the door doesn't always have to be closed. Now, obviously you could make that a bedroom or any other kind of room that you wanted, but I kind of liked the idea of having it kind of open, thinking like it would be a small business or something that's run out of their house. So that's kind of the vibe that I wanted to give. And then this is a second lounge room, which is pretty much the same as the first one, just a little bit smaller, and I changed a couple of the colors around and added a little bit of extra elements and stuff, but for the most part it is pretty much the same as the one at the other end of the house. It's just a second area. You could make this into like a kid's playroom or an, you know, entertainment area, but I just wanted to have a separate space because I thought if they had maybe teens or even kids, there would be a space for them to watch movies or when their friends come over, they could all hang out in this room or whatever it is. And then the parents obviously can then still watch TV and still do their own thing while also supervising at the same time. So I kind of liked adding in that element of the build. Again, the furnishings are super light, super airy. Again, I'm really comfortable with that kind of colors, so I didn't want to go too out of my comfort zone with this. But I do enjoy it. I think it's different enough that I was challenged by it, but also it was the same in the sense that I was comfortable in any of the furnishings that we were bringing in. So I really enjoyed that, for sure. A lot of Dream Home Decorator stuff because I love this pack. I will not stress this enough. If you are thinking of getting a pack for The Sims and you don't necessarily have enough money for an expansion pack, get the Dream Home Decorator pack. It comes with a career as well. It doesn't come with a world, but it comes with a career. And it is literally one of my favorite packs for build buy items. It is the best pack ever, hands down. Like, it's one of my favorites. So I would definitely recommend to anyone, if you're thinking of getting a pack and you're not really sure and you don't have it already, definitely get the Dream Home Decorator pack because it just matches a lot with a lot of the new swatches that we're getting as well, and also some of the updated swatches that they're updating within like the Sims realm. So yeah, I definitely would recommend. The bedrooms, I was thinking like teens, and so I used a lot of the high school years pack for a lot of the furnishings, again changing the colors and stuff. I'm loving purple and yellow at the moment. I've done this in a lot of my builds, both on YouTube and then also just in general. So I've been really loving doing those colors. So yeah, obviously just keeping it super light, but also fun and just adding in those elements. The ensuite bathroom, I kept similar vibe to the main bathroom. So keeping similar kind of colors and stuff for every single room of the house, but also still creating spaces that feel very lived in at the same time. And same with this master, I used the Dream Home Decorator sort of template, what is it? It's like a template room. I used that for inspiration, but then I obviously grabbed different items that I thought would fit the vibe. And then I also wanted to add like a little toddler room or a little infant room, just to sort of show how you could potentially use some of these rooms. So yeah, I wanted to like just create, it's for two, but you could honestly just take away one and then rearrange the room a little bit, but I really enjoyed creating spaces like this. I never really do like infant stuff, so I'm very happy with the build. I'm happy with it overall, actually. The build it took a while. It took me like 2 sessions to furnish and build this. It might not seem like it, but I've cut out a lot of it because I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do, but using those template rooms really helped a lot. But yeah, obviously like the end of the inside is coming up, and then we do a little bit of stuff outside, but not too much. It's, you know, it's not enough to create massive amounts of space, but it is still usable and still amazing as well. And also room for you guys to add your own stuff as well. I wanted to put in the slip and slide, and so I did put that in because why not? Why not? And then a little fire pit area, and also a space to do some gardening. So there is a lot of potential to do a lot of skill building as well, which I like. I like getting builds and they have those skill building areas already in place, which I enjoy doing that sort of stuff a lot. So we're coming to the end of the build now. Thank you all so much for joining me and watching through to the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. That lets me know that you guys want to see more Sims content. And also let me know down in the comments if you guys would like to see any more types of content on my YouTube. I stream Dead by Daylight, Sims, Minecraft, every sort of type of game under the sun on Twitch, if you would like to check that out. And if you wanted any videos of any of the games that I play on Twitch, let me know as well. Alright, thank you all so much for joining, and I'll catch you guys next time.